What is up, guys? NinjaNick333, and we are back. This is the Champions League, I believe in Yokohama. I'm gonna have to double check on that. But we do have a Chien-Pao mirror to start this tournament off. Just came back from Pittsburgh. Regionals unfortunately went from 1-1-1 to 2-2-2 to 3-3-3. Gardevoir was not the play for that tournament. Only 2 people made top 32 with Gardevoir at that tournament. And one of them was Tord, so does that really count? He's going to make top 32 with whatever he plays, so... yeah, so we are going to get right into this here. Chien-Pao's very solid if you can get set up, but the key issue is getting set up. You really need to find that rare candy Baxcalibur, and of course those battle VIP passes turn 1 in order to even get there in the first place. So we do have a Frigibax start from our player here on the right. Hopefully we will be able to get maybe one more Frigibax down, as well as, yeah, it looks like we are going for the Chien-Pao here as well. I did see there was a Bidoof in the prize cards from this player on the right, so maybe we're not going to have access to what is more than likely a 1-1 Bibarel that is in the deck. There is a potential that both of these players are playing the Pidgeot EX as well. You do have to rare candy into that as well, but it allows you to search your deck for any one card every turn. They are, looks like we are on the Palkia V-Star instead of the Arceus V-Star. I like the Arceus V-Star a lot more, especially in conjunction with the Pidgeot, because you can use the Arceus to search your deck for the rare candy Pidgeot and then have that set up to be able to go every single turn of the game. Or you could use it to search for like Pidgeot plus Irida in order to find the Baxcalibur and the rare candy into the Pidgeot. Use the Pidgeot to find another rare candy to rare candy into the Baxcalibur, and you get fully set up like that. The Palkia does have the ability to use its Star Portal V-Star power in order to get 3 energy into play once, which can be really solid, but I like the consistency of being able to build your board just a little bit better. You can usually get to where you need to go with just the superior energy retrievals, so I don't really see that much of a need for the Palkia. I mean, you could always go for like a 2-2 Palkia V-Star line and just use it as an alternate attacker. There are, of course, also the Palkia decks that do, in fact, it's just more of a Palkia deck, plays no Bibarel, and then just uses Chien-Pao as a way to search energies and as a closer. So I find that's a little bit better use of the Palkia, but also the Palkia is lightning weak, and one of the best decks in the format right now is Miraidon, that did just get second at the Pittsburgh Regionals the same weekend as this tournament. So we'll have to see exactly how well it does at this tournament as well, and it looks like both players are on that Palkia V-Star. We do get the Manaphy down here from this player on the left, so we will be able to avoid the Moonlight Shuriken from the opposing Radiant Greninja, of course, that for 3 energy can do 90 to 2 Pokemon, so that would be a really easy way to knock out double Frigibax. So really important to get that Manaphy down here in the mirror match. Our other player is going to have to find that on this next turn, otherwise their double Frigibax is in a really bad spot. And we get the Avery here. That is actually huge. So that's going to force the opponent to discard 2 benched Pokemon. It looks like this player has to actually read the Avery. So I think here you get rid of the Greninja and the Palkia, because you need to keep the Manaphy as well as the Frigibax in play. But it looks like we're going to get rid of one of the Frigibax. Just hope our opponent doesn't play like double cross switcher this turn, because this deck does generally play quad cross switcher. You can search it out with the Palkia, be able to bring stuff up from the bench, and yeah, I do think that's really risky discarding one of the Frigibax there. Both these players on the 60 HP Frigibax, which in my opinion is a little suboptimal if you're going to go against Lost Box, but it does only have a 1 retreat cost as opposed to 2, so it makes it a lot easier to pivot it around, which is pretty much the reason that all of the decks play the 60 HP Frigibax. I'm hoping they print a 70 HP 1 retreat one in the future, but we will just have to see. Or maybe one with an ability that gives it like free retreat would be pretty cool as well. Like if a stadium's in play, maybe that would be a really nice Frigibax to have in the format. But we are going to go for the Ultra Ball here. Got to find ourselves that Baxcalibur. Hopefully we have the rare candidate to be able to utilize that here. And if we can take the first 2-prize knockout on that Chien-Pao in the opposing active, that would be pretty huge here. Going on a 2-prize lead. I would still prefer to see the double cross switcher on that Frigibax just to make sure your opponent has no way to get energy into play except for that Palkia V-Star, but it looks like no energy for the knockout, unfortunately, here. We're just going to have to go for a pass, and now it is in our left player's court to see if we can get to the energies necessary to take a nice 2-prize knockout here. So we are going to use Chien-Pao's Shivery Chill, search our deck for 2 water energies to put into our hand. We already have 1 in the discard pile. Unfortunately, not going to be able to use our own Radiant Greninja to draw another couple of cards, try to find some more energies or a superior energy retrieval, because, of course, that was knocked into the discard pile by that Avery. Avery being a very powerful supporter that not a lot of people in the format are choosing to play, but I do really like it as a one-of here in the Chien-Pao deck, as well as sometimes in Arceus decks. I feel like it can fit well as well. But we are going to go for the Ultra Ball, discarding double water energy that was just searched out. We got those nice Galaxy Hollow ones. I think maybe that's from the that anniversary type set with the game board. I think that's where they came out with those now. Or they could just be from base set, I suppose, as well. But we get them in our play packs as well now, so really nice hollow pattern to have access to. Looks like we are able to effectively deluge like we would with the Blastoise of old, but it is called Super Cold now, being able to allow ourselves with the power of that Stage 2 Baxcalibur to attach as many water energies as we want from our hand every single turn. So able to take the lead there, even though we are at that deficit of having our bench neutered by the Avery. And now it's going to be a race to see who can stay ahead in the prizes or not. And here we see the cross switcher plus the Palkia V-Star coming out for our player on the right, even though we do not, or we do have 1 Baxcalibur, I suppose, but we can use the Palkia V-Star's V-Star power as well as the double cross switcher to bring up the Baxcalibur and knock it out. We do 60 plus 20 for each bench Pokemon on both sides of the board. So let's see, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times 2 is 120 plus 60 is 180. So that is just enough for the knockout. The Baxcalibur does have 160 HP. Actually, 1 bench Pokemon more than we need, and even starting to set up that Radiant Greninja on the bench as well. Just in case some more Frigibax come down, you could do another double cross switcher, bring up the Manaphy, canceling Clone It to knock the ability off of the Manaphy for the turn, and then knock it as well as a Frigibax out in the next turn and take the prize lead yet again. So we are going to have to see exactly what our player here on the left is capable of doing. Probably just another attack here, but gonna go with the Palkia V-Star this time because we do have to use that Star Portal to even get energy into play now that we no longer have access to the Baxcalibur whatsoever. But that will not be a one-shot, that will be a two-shot here. We're using, of course, those really nice damage markers that Japan has access to. I did manage to pick some of those up at NAIC, and they are really sweet. I love playing with those. It actually is a lot easier than using dice in my opinion, which I thought would be actually the opposite. Also, the damage markers that I have are actually different colors. The 100 is yellow, the 10 is red, or like orange. Yeah, the 10 is orange, and then the 50s are red. So it's very odd that how different the damage counters look to me right now, because I'm not used to seeing them with those colors on those numbers. Although I do think that those colors are more correct. You want the big number to have the red coloring, because that shows it's like more severe damage. But here we go, Shivery Chill. superior energy retrieval, we did retreat that Palkia into the bench, getting rid of some of those energy cards. We are now going to be able to load up this Chien-Pao to be able to knock out the opposing active Palkia V-Star and continue that prize lead. And now that the Palkia is no longer in play from this player on the left, I'm going to say that that is most likely game here, even loading up the Palkia on the bench. That we now have to find a Frigiback still, which we were not able to do on the last turn. And we don't have any response for this next turn, so our player on the right is going to be able to take another additional prize card before we even get Baxcalibur into play. And even if we do, we could just be feeding the damage output of that Palkia V-Star on the bench. So the player on the right playing phenomenally well, unfortunately just drawing a little bit better than the player on the left because, of course, they are playing very similar decks. And it looks like we are going to heavy ball and fail it, allowing you to look at the prize cards, see if there's any basic Pokemon in there to take, but none in there. And it looks like just an attach and a pass. At that point, that is essentially just a concession. This is best of one format, so there's no reason to really scoop up your cards that early when you can still play it out. It is important to note that in the event of a tie in Japan, it is a double game loss. So you never want to tie in this format because at the very least, you could always just concede to your opponent before time is called. And I feel like that's the more gentlemanly way to do it. I know Ethan Heggie did play in this tournament. He started 8-1, ended 10-4, but 2 of those losses were actually ties. And the judges are very much on top of making sure that there is no gentleman's agreements. I don't believe that gentleman's agreements are allowed in Japan, unlike they are here. They'd rather just make sure their players play fast. It is best of one, so it does make sense. For the most part, at least, it does make sense if you're playing best of one. So, just a little bit unfortunate. So, yeah, just like scoop up the cards a little bit early, concede. If you do know that you are going to lose, might as well just allow your opponent who was going to win, if time was not a factor, to just go ahead and take the game as it should have been, because it does not. It probably honestly helps you by giving them the win in that scenario, because it would boost your resistance. But it looks like our player on the right was able to win a very clean game, was able to pick apart the opponent's board very easily with the Avery and the Cross Switcher in order to just lock them out of the game. And that is exactly how you want to see a mirror match be played. One player just getting the cards they need, coming out on top, and just ripping their opponent a new one, basically. So I hope you guys enjoyed. As always, do not forget to comment, like, and subscribe. It is very important. And check out the vlog from Pittsburgh if you have not seen that already. That was the upload previous to this on the channel. And we will see you guys next time.